Hello everyone! Today I'll be using the DecoTime Watercolour pencils on these two drawings. I drew some betta fish to try out the blue and purple shades, and I drew some foxes to try out the orange and brown shades. As we learnt on our previous video, these DecoTime watercolour pencils are not made equal. The ones in the tin seem to have way less pigment than the ones that come in the DecoTime watercolour set. Bear in mind again that my experience with watercolour pencils was never with the professional brands. I grew up using the Staedtler watercolour pencils, and from what I remember, they were a bit more pigmented than the Bic ones. The application of the DecoTime pencils always feels hard and scratchy. Blending the colours together is not easy either. This is worse with the pencils in the black barrels. The ones in the white barrels feel a little better in usage, but not entirely ideal. They always leave streaks no matter how much water you use, truly annoying when you want to try and get a smooth looking gradient. They really don't spread enough pigment when they are wet. Eventually I decided to wet a paintbrush and just pick off colour from the pencil tip. Worked okay, but it's just annoying. Colouring the first betta fish felt like a chore, and I began to feel a bit frustrated, and I had to keep reminding myself that these are incredibly cheap pencils, but at the same time they feel awful to use. The Bic ones in comparison were way more pleasing to use. They felt smooth when I laid them down, and blending them with water felt smoother too. I feel that the beak ones definitely did come out on top. You can see here on the one with the beta fish, where I blended with the black crown, that the DecoTime one was left streaky while the beak one basically smoothed itself out when you applied water. Overall, I can't recommend these DecoTime watercolor pencils sadly. For the price they are obviously tempting, but I wouldn't buy them again. They don't apply nicely and wetting them doesn't pull enough pigment. I think that especially for a beginner these are too frustrating to practice with because you will feel annoyed with the process and the outcome could possibly be considered disappointing. You are better off spending a bit more money and getting a different brand. I can't recommend any other brands since again I haven't tried the professional brands. But for the sake of practicing, the Staedtler or the Beak ones would provide you with a more pleasant experience and a way more satisfactory result. So here's the final result. I feel that the end result goes in favour for the Beak pencils. Thank you so much for watching, stay tuned and stay awesome.